Hello, Pynk ladies, T-birds, and just happen to be watchers of Jimmy shit. My name is Petty Draper, and I'm back on my bullshit. So, hello. My name is Petty Draper, and Jimmy asked me to come on and do this video to let you guys know that we found out that the season 2 of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars, the runway is going to give the girls the opportunity to redo one of their bad looks that they did on the runway during their season. Now, for some of these girls, it's fairly obvious what look that they should redo. And for some of them, not so much. So what we're just going to do today is discuss what looks I think should be the look that the girls choose to redo. And then Jimmy will be back for the actual review this Thursday. And we're going to see how many that we got right. So we're going to go in alphabetical order. And the first queen's name is Aja. I don't know. I don't do very well with these ethnic names. Anyway, Aja had a look from her season, which was a princess challenge. And she decided to go with a volcanic lava princess named Princess Disaster. And boy, oh boy, did she pick the right name, because this outfit was absolutely atrocious. It's awful. The only thing that I can relate to is the bloomers, because those are the type of underwear that we wear in my era, you know, very high, very big. But this look definitely needs a complete overhaul. And I think there's no question that this is the look that Aja is going to go ahead and do, because it's definitely, unfortunately, probably her most iconic look of the season, because this is the look where she read the little Latin girl and was saying that she was beautiful and she was perfect, and did she stone her tights, and that needs a redo. Secondly, we have BB Zahara Bennett, and there's not a lot to see from Miss Bennett, because Miss Bennett was on the first season of RuPaul's Drag Race, which was, excuse my language, a dumpster fire. So she didn't get the acclaim, she didn't get the shine, the episodes are nowhere to be found, and the pictures of the runway are even harder to find. Now, BB has a very ethnic look. It's very African. And most of her looks fall into this. However, there was one look that I really thought was absolutely atrocious. And that was this look where she lip-synced against fan favorite Angina. And it's not unheard of, even though it's not my taste. I don't understand you guys' generation's fascination with having boobs and breasts and your behind out. But I understand it's a little bit different time now. And it's not unheard of for Miss Bennett to have on a dress that goes underneath her bosom and then have an exposed brassiere. But this time, this was all trimmed in down feathers. This whole bosom was covered in feathers. And those feathers look like they should have been in my down comforter in my kids' room. It's not good. And it needs to be redone. The next queen is my favorite queen, because her look is from my era, and that is Ben de la Creme. And Ben de la Creme always has a nice 50s, 60s aesthetic, which is gorgeous. It's perfect. And in fact, I had a hard time finding a look that I didn't absolutely love, even if the judges did it. However, there was one look, and I understand, because again, I do not get this era's fascination with having your bosom and your buttocks out. But there was a ball, and this unfortunately was the episode where Ben de la Creme went home. And they had to do a ghetto look, a banji look as they call it. And this look, even though to me, I mean, it looks like everything that you guys as pop stars wear right now. You would never see Leslie Gore or Shelley Fabre wearing something like this. But all of these girls do this now. You basically have on lingerie. You basically have on a bustier and a pair of bloomers and some big furry frilly coat. And that's what I see in this. However, it may have not been executed as well. And also, it's not something that Ben is comfortable for. So for me, I would like to see her redo this. And even though I love the aesthetic, it is a competition and maybe she does need to step outside of the box. So this is the look that I would like to see her redo. And then we have Chai Devane. Chai Devane. And this is Jimmy's favorite. One of Jimmy's favorites. And, but there's definitely no question that this queen had some very questionable looks, some very unpolished looks. But I think the one that the judges really hated the most was her neon look. And that's because there was no padding. There was just flat-chested, no waistline, a bodysuit, a flat pink wig, and it was very, what's the word that you guys, was it basic? It was very basic. So I would like to see her redo this look and just show how she's grown. She's matured into a lovely young woman with a nice bosom and a very wonderful waist. And I would just like to see her redo this neon look and show how much she's grown since her season. The next queen's name is Kennedy Davenport. I didn't know that people were naming themselves after President Kennedy after he was assassinated. That's wonderful. But Miss Davenport is also one of Jimmy's favorites. Now, the taste level is questionable a lot of the time. But it is drag. And she does do drag. She does pageant drag. And it's elaborate. And it's very costumey. However, there was a toss-up between a couple looks that I would have liked to have seen redone. My runner-up would have been the Hello Kitty look. Just because you get to have fun with something like Hello Kitty. And you make something that looks like anything that you would wear any other time. Which is just a bodysuit with way too much embellishment on it. And a knee boot. But the look that I think really needs to be redone is her death runway. Because this crystallized chicken look with what Jimmy explained to me are wefts of hair. Like you guys actually put other people's human hair in your head now, which is disgusting. But she doesn't even have it in her head. She has it down, sewn to her bodysuit. And then just this fabric just sticking out of rips. And the story behind that, my God. If you need somebody that can write a good story, I can get you in contact with Peggy. Because you definitely need somebody. However, what we're talking about is the look. And I think this is definitely the look that she needs to redo. And I don't know if they can just redo the challenge or if they have to redo the look based on what they did. I hope it's redo the challenge and she comes up with something more clever of how she died. And just something a little bit more glamorous and cohesive. The next queen we have is that right? Milk? I don't get you guys' generation. Like, are you naming yourself after beverages now? I heard about this rapper named Cardi B, who was named after Bacardi, and her sister's actual name is Hennessy. And those are liquors. And at least those names sound a little bit fancy, but milk? Okay, 2018. But this queen is very avant-garde, does a lot of different looks, and a lot of times does not even do female illusion. But the one time that they asked her, could she please do a glam look, she did not execute it well. And I think hands down that the blue number with the white bow needs to be the look that Milk redoes, unquestionably. The only problem with that is Shangela kind of already redid her look in the opening and did it better. The next queen we have is Shangela. Now, Shangela was on 2 different seasons. And not unlike Chai Chai Debanye, Shangela decides, well, I can't say decides, but just her looks really weren't very good. And there were a lot of disastrous moments. And there was a toss-up for me with this, too. Because initially, I thought the best look would be her season 2 look, as she was the first queen to go home. But she's kind of already taken the corn cob on the arm and ran with that a little bit. So what I chose was the look where she went home, which was the ball, when they had to make a whole outfit out of hair. And I do not understand what your generation's thing is with making clothing out of hair. It's disgusting. But that was the challenge. And obviously, compared to the other girls, hers was lackluster. It was not executed well. And then she had these, like, cardboard triceratops cones on her head that were just awful. So I would like to see Shangela redo that look. The next queen we have is Thorgy Thor. And Thorgy Thor is very much a character, and her looks are very much her. But once I went through the looks on her season, I didn't find any of them to really be bad. They always fit the challenge. But there was one challenge that you had 4 girls who wore a kimono. Well, you had 3 girls that wore a kimono and 1 queen decided to wear lingerie with a robe. But because this is somebody that Jimmi told me is very iconic to you guys, who is Madonna, I think she's a whore. I mean, she's no Patsy Cline. Or even, I can't even think. I've been in this timeline so long, I can't even remember a singer for my era right now. But the look that I'd like to see her do is the Madonna look. Only because, please redeem yourself from 4 of you guys deciding you guys wanted to wear kimonos. And lastly, we have Miss Trixie Mattel, who is Jimmy's favorite for the win. And we went back over the looks. And Trixie, not unlike Thorgy, is a character, and she sticks very closely to what her look is. There was not a bad look on the runway. We enjoyed them all. But me and Jimmy agree that the look that we feel like Trixie Mattel should redo is from the season 7, episode 1, double runway, where you had to do a summer look and a fall look. And we decided to go with the fall look because this fall look literally could be anybody's look. There's nothing about it that has that Trixie Mattel brand on it. And you know I know all about branding because my ex-husband was a very successful advertising man, agent, whatever you want to call it these days. But This look can literally be anybody. She doesn't even have on any of her signature colors. Not saying that Trixie always wears pink, but it's always something that does give you that Barbie aesthetic, that really girly girl aesthetic, whether it be the beautiful colors of my era, the pinks and the baby blues and the mint greens. But this literally can just be anybody's dress. The hair doesn't scream Trixie. The dress doesn't scream Trixie. And I would like to see her do a fall look, but make it more on brand to Trixie. So with that being said, those are my predictions and what looks I think they should redo. We'll see what happens on Thursday, and Jimmi will be back. In the meantime, Jimmi would like to thank all of her patrons and all of her pink ladies and T-birds. Apparently there's this movie that's set in my era too that's called Grease that she's kind of obsessed with. And if you're not a pink lady or T-bird, she is asking you to subscribe to her channel and to make sure that you hit the notification bell so that you know when all of the RuPaul's Drag Race reviews are up. Also, she does have merchandise for sale. She learned something from me. So I would like to thank all of you for watching and inviting me back because I haven't been on the show for a while. And then, what's that thing that she says when she leaves? Has something to do with cards. Is it spades? Hearts? Go fish? Oh, no! Deuces. Kamehameha, attackers blazing, I'm so amazing. Japanimation, the anime on your cartoon station. So fulfilling, no adults swimming for about an hour. Revealing power, unorthodox amongst these cowards. Full transformation for Optimus Prime transformation. A good vibration from Rumble Pack.